still in the feast of the Ascension, and today we heard a little bit about the Ascension through the Gospel of John, chapter 17. It's entitled in the Orthodox Study Bible, Christ's Prayer for the Apostles. So as we can see, we are in a period between the Ascension and then Pentecost. And just like we were with Pascha, right, we had a short period of time where Christ was buried and he rose again. And then there was the period of Pascha, and we had Christ is risen, right, all those times. And then we had the Ascension. So that was the time that he was on earth, right? He was still on earth at that time, teaching and preaching and enlightening the people around him. And now he's ascended into heaven, and we are waiting for Pentecost, right? Some of the people are eager to go out, right? His disciples are eager to go out and preach. They're waiting for direction, right? Christ is no longer with them. They're waiting for direction, and he tells them to wait in Jerusalem until the Spirit comes upon them. And that's what Pentecost will be next Sunday. So we're in this period here, this 1 week or 9 to 12, 14 days, where we're waiting. And we have to do that a lot in life too, right? We're waiting for God's answers. We're praying to him, and we're waiting. And we're still waiting, and sometimes we wait many years, and sometimes it takes seconds, and sometimes it takes years, and sometimes it takes a lifetime. Right? But he's waiting. They're waiting for the Holy Spirit. And you can see Christ is lifting up his hands, right? He is lifting up his hands and his eyes and his mind to his Father. And he is telling his Father all the things that he has done. He's fulfilled all the things that his Father wanted him to do. Right? He gathered men that were given to him. He only lost one of them, right? And he taught them, right? And he spoke to them, and he preached to them. And that was to fulfill all of the prophets and all of the Old Testament teachings. And as Christ does that, we need to do that, right? We need to keep reaching out. This is like another teaching moment. He gave us the Our Father, right? And he taught us many times how to pray. And we saw him pray in the Garden of Gethsemane and other places. Well, this is like another prayer, right? He's praying to the Father. He's revealing part of himself, how he's one with the Father in essence, right? And that's why this celebration of the First Ecumenical Council of 318 that attended that is on this Sunday, right? They commemorate on this Sunday. Because in that time period, after Christ had died and all the churches were being established, there was no internet, right? There was probably barely any mail, right? No one was writing anything down. You traveled, right? You could see in the Gospels that Paul sent this person to this town, and John sent this person, and John went to this island, and he went to this island, and sometimes in the back of the Bible we have all these maps and all these lines going across of where they all visited. Because they're trying to keep the church together, right? They're trying to establish a faith, a solid faith. But as we see through Arius, that was the culmination of his ideas that Christ was a separate being. And at that time, he was even expelled from the church. They found out about this heresy and they expelled him from the church, but he still went on and speaking to people about it. And it grew to such a point that Constantine called the First Council of Nicaea. And it wasn't easy, right? It took years. Time moved very slowly then. So they gathered all of the bishops and all of their entourage that went with them to Nicaea. And it wasn't like they just drove up to Boston and hopped on a plane and boom, they were in Nicaea. It took many months of planning to actually get there all at the same time. And we kind of saw that today in the epistle that was read by Ethan, how they were planning to be there by Pentecost, right? Certain things, they were even trying to time things as it was back then, and it wasn't easy. But they all gathered in Nicaea, and it's a fascinating story if you read it online or if you have a book about it. And there's also some very interesting YouTube videos from Patristic Faith, I believe, that tells the story, or some of the stories of what happened at the First Council of Nicaea. stories, of course, like everything, it's not written. And again, take everything with an open mind as to the interpretation of what is going on. But there was a fierce battle between Arius and all of the nobles and bishops of that time, just to establish who is God, right? And who is Jesus? What is he? Is he man? Is he when was he created? When did he start being created? Is he in essence with God? Was he born before all time with God? Because that's what we know now, right? It has been settled and it's been defended over and over and over again that God is the essence of God. Right? Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are three separate entities but joined as one, the Trinity, right? But we still have different faiths today, right? We have different people have different ideas of who God is, and who Jesus is, and who a prophet is, and what is he, and where does he come from, and how did he exist. But when we go back in time, all the way back to 318, and before that, the first ecumenical council, and the 6 councils after that, it has been settled. They are one essence, undivided, and we just have to remember that, right? That's part of our faith, and that helps us to understand the roles that God plays with Jesus and his parents and all of the saints, because they all radiate from God, right? They all start from God. And it helps us to understand, put like a picture in mind of who we're praying to and where our prayers are going, and how the universe was understood. Right? And as a result of the First Ecumenical Council, much of the creed is within that, right? With the Father be begotten, not made, one essence with the Father. One of the basic lines in the creed. When we say the creed, sometimes now we just say kind of this repetition, and we just say, oh, that's an interesting thing. Yeah, okay, that's how we pray, and that's our belief. But when we look at it line by line, like Uncle Tony used to do in the PLC, David's so proud of that. It stuck in his mind for all these years and passed it on. We look at each line and the meaning of it, the deeper meaning, right? And try to understand it. It's still hard for us today to understand some of the basic faith beliefs that we have, because it's so unbelievable in this world. How can something be there forever, right? Even when we were a kid, when someone said God is everywhere, we just, oh yeah, God's everywhere. But then as we got older, we're like, well, God is everywhere. Jesus is everywhere. Holy Spirit. All these things were created, and we were created out of nothingness in the beginning. So how do all these things happen? And we just have to, again, we have to have faith in God to get past that, to have a relationship with God. Just as Christ had a relationship with his Father, right? In the gospel today, he's calling out to his Father. He called out to his Father as he hung on the cross for our sins, right? To have a relationship with God. That's what Jesus had, and that's what we need to have with him, right? With God, we have a relationship. We cry out to Jesus. We cry out to the saints for help, for intercession. And that is one of the, again, another one of the foundations of the church. So as we wait for Pentecost to come, let us think about the Holy Spirit that is already within us, right? The Holy Spirit was